And so my hope is that we can move from beginners to experts in the race and space and know that while I'm going to give you 10 layers, while I'm going to give you a lot of teaching, that doesn't mean that your teams are all going to get better at every single thing. You're going to have to edit down what I share with you and make it your own savvy means wisdom. Socrates was one of the most wise teachers in the history of humanity. And he said this: smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people learn from their own experiences, and stupid people already have all the answers. I do not want to come at you like I've got all the answers on this. I'm just here to help. And I feel like I've been able to learn from a whole lot of different people. I've spent my last 15 years traveling and learning, where you have been doing good work coaching teams for the past 15, 30 years. I haven't had to coach a team for the last little while. So I just get to travel around and learn. I want to share some of those things with you. But I'm not coming at you like I have all the answers. And if I get excited, it's because I love this stuff and I've seen it work. But I don't want to come across like I've got all the answers. I just want to give that caveat. Okay, but here's one answer that I think that we all understand. This is last season, all NCAA Division I men's teams. You're going to hear me use terms like points per possession, and that's going to be a part of your assignment. Each one of these dots is a team, their entire season on average. And what you see here is their points per possession in transition. We have some that were really efficient in transition. We have some that were really inefficient in transition, right? But on average, if we take the middle of this, we see that it's well over 1 point per possession. The average is almost 1.1 points per possession, okay? That is teams that run and teams that don't run. I'll give you a couple of outliers here. Gonzaga, okay? Gonzaga is one of these teams. They averaged about 1.2 points per possession in transition. 1.2. That's incredibly efficient. Okay. Whereas I'm gonna give you an outlier, Otterbein University, where my friend Micah Mills coaches. Okay. Otterbein, they averaged zero point 0.8 points per possession in transition. So I've been going through this with Micah. He's like, we got to get better in transition. We're terrible in transition. But on the flip side, against a set half court defense, on average, if we take the middle of this bundle, it's somewhere between 0.8 and 0.9 if we take the average of the whole thing. So on average, most teams, whether they're a good offensive team or a bad offensive team, they score about 0.85 points per possession in the half court. So why does this matter to you as good high school coaches? Well, if in college it's about maybe 0.25 points per possession different, transition versus half court, what you should take away from that, and what a savvy coach takes away from that, what I'm urging you to take away from that is you need more transition possessions. The best thing you can do to score more points next season is not have a more efficient half court offense. Yeah, that's going to help. But if we're looking at return on investment, if we can just move some half court possessions to transition possessions, you've scored more points, period. Right now, every coach has said, yeah, I want to run more, but we don't see significant change from most coaches from year to year. Well, here's one reason why you want to run more, and also a reason why a lot of teams don't run more. So here we see a steal, Ja Morant. Ja does not have numbers here. Most coaches and most teams, when they don't have numbers, they stop pushing the pace. That is not race and space. Race and space is we race first, we race always. Our objective is to race the arcs in order to attack disorganized defense and get over 50% of your possessions in transition. In order to juice up our transition possessions, we have to keep racing even if we don't have numbers. Because what we do have is more disorganized defense. What we do have is more space. What we do have is more time. Ja Morant has more time to read the defense here than he is on a closeout. And those things all result in more efficient possessions. Against a half-court defense, it is so hard, and you know this, it is so hard to get to the rim against that set half-court defense. But in transition, it's so much easier. You also get a higher foul rate. So that's what we're trying to do. We want to take what tends to be isolation possessions, and we want to reduce them and turn them into transition possessions. Because what we all know is if you play with a shot clock, Or if your team just gets fed up, the end of a shot clock or the end of a long possession tends to devolve into an isolation. The best teams shoot out of isolation the least. These are the best offensive teams, and what percent of their offense comes out of isolation scoring? Race and space is not isolation. It is not isolation offense. We do not want to shoot out of isolation because good offensive teams don't shoot out of isolation.